I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
The toughest, fastest, strongest ninjas are headed straight for an incredible adventure. They're fighting an international crime ring.
They're just kids.
That's left the police powerless and the FBI defenseless.
We should run. We should hide. We should kick their butts.
Now, these three young heroes are taking matters into their own hands. Three Ninjas, rated PG, parental guidance suggested. Now playing at a theater near you.
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another review. This is another request for Johnny, who wanted my thoughts on the Three Ninjas films, which there's 4 of them. And first off, if anyone's ever interested in requesting videos or any type of reviews, or any other video top, anything of that sort, you can either join my Patreon or send in a request directly via my PayPal. Links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries. If so, thank you. But yeah, Three Ninjas, man, it's been a while since I've seen this film. I remember never saw the sequels, but I did see the first one way back in the day, because 1992, around when this came out, that was a time when, of course, the Ninja Turtles were very successful. And because the Ninja Turtles were very successful, you got other kid but martial art oriented movies like Surf Ninjas, this movie, among others. And this is sort of, it's been labeled as Ninja Turtles meets Home Alone. And I get the Ninja Turtles comparison in a way, but at the same time, there are no mutants or anything of that. So, really, the best way to put it is if Home Alone had martial arts. That's the best way to describe this. Because you have these 3 kids who their father doesn't pay much attention, so they get trained by their grandfather, played by Victor Wong, who's in The Golden Child, Big Trouble in Little China, which I'm trying to think, and that's the dryer, his daughter, Victor Wong's daughter is white. All the kids are white. So, I don't know, I thought it was weird that his daughter was just 1% white girl. But is Victor Wong really their grandpa? But nobody else looks Asian. I mean, it's not big, something I was wondering about. Also, they do this big deal with the mask. Like the grandfather's training them and then gives them a mask. There's Rocky, calls him that because he's strong and solid like granite rock. Colt, you're fast and free like the wild horse. And then Tum Tum, because you're little and you eat too much candy. And he gives each one a mask. I thought they would only use those a lot more. They do a little bit. But I don't think in the sequels they ever use those again. And they seem like a very important thing, but yeah, in the next ones they never use those masks again. I would say I still didn't mind this film. I probably liked it a lot more when I was a kid, but this wasn't that bad. Watch it again. This wasn't that bad. I would say seek out the international cut, which is on YouTube, and the theatrical cut is about an hour and 20 some. International is about an hour and 30 some minutes. That's where I saw it. It was on YouTube for free. It's in one go, hour and 34. I forget. Pretty much the difference is they add a couple more scenes in, and it doesn't have as much of the cartoon effects. Just for what I understand, they shot the film. They thought it was too violent, so they put in a lot of cartoon effects when people get hit. The international cut still has a couple of those, but a lot less. A lot less of those cartoon sound effects when people get hit. The bing, boom, boom. A lot less in the international cut. So maybe if I saw the other one, I would just get too annoyed with it, because I hate when they do that, when it's the cartoon sound effects, whether it be in Power Rangers or other. I hate that shit. I mean, once in a while, the old Three Stooges, I can deal with that, but sometimes But I thought the three kids did work fine together in this. I would say of all the films, this is the best acting of the three kids, which in the next one, which was really the one after, well, I'll get to that. It'll be too confusing. Victor Wong, nice to see him in there. I miss the guy. The bad guy being hammy. He has a Steven Seagal haircut. I read somewhere in a comment someone mentioned that Steven Seagal was up for the bad guy in this, and since they didn't get it, they just gave the guy a Steven Seagal haircut. I don't know if that's true. If somehow it was true, I don't blame him, because it'd be between this and Under Siege. So what are you going to do? Under Siege or this? And this is not that bad of a movie. I mean, it gets worse. High Noon and Mega Mountain. But the kids are fairly good at martial arts. Especially the one, Rocky. He seems like the best of the three martial arts wise. Seemed to go on at a good pace. There wasn't too many jokes that made me cringe, and there wasn't a ton of like piss jokes, and not a ton of that stuff. There are ninjas that do use their environment quite a bit. One thing I got tired of, and is consistent throughout all these films, every time these kids hit something, they go, hiya, 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 hiya. That's with every fucking film. They do the hiya, hiya, like every time they hit someone. Hiya, 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 hiya. Just stop it. I can't blame the kids, because I'm sure they were told to do that. Why? And why for every fucking film? I don't know why. I don't know. Watch it again. It did bring me some nostalgia thoughts back in the place. Just I do remember the cover. I remember seeing this a couple times back in the day, because I was really into the ninja stuff with Ninja Turtles. So yeah, hey, Three Ninjas. I do like this more than Surf Ninjas. That one I rewatched a year or two ago. That was rough. It's cool if people like Surf Ninjas. That one, no, not for me. This one, much more tolerable. That's just me. The bad guy with the Steven Seagal ponytail haircut, he deals with warheads and the sale of them, and his father works with the FBI and wants to stop him. So the bad guy is also old friends with Victor Wong and tries to tell him, you better warn your son-in-law, the FBI guy, to back off. then they decide to get the three kids to use as a bargaining chip. So they hire these three guys who are pretty much Bill and Ted rejects, if I learn how to talk. Pretty much if Bill and Ted were evil, that's kind of what these three guys are. And I was mentioning the nostalgia. The things I remember the most was the training dummy, where they had to hit certain parts and the eyes light up, which later on they do to Professor Toru Tanaka, who was he was Sub-Zero in The Running Man. He fought Jeff Speakman in The Perfect Weapon at the end of that movie. Been quite a few stuff. The other thing I remember is the three knuckleheads that a good chunk of the film is them in this Home Alone type of thing trying to get these kids, and these kids of course turn the tables on them. That's really where they used the mask, and the only scene they used the mask is that. And then I don't think they ever use it again in the other movies, which is weird because they look pretty cool. Seems like a bit important motif for them, but no, never again. I don't know why. But I did like these three guys. I don't know, they were silly. The one guy I recognized, he was one of the kids in class in summer school. And the other two I don't recognize, but I liked them. Even if if Bill and Ted were evil, that's what these three guys are. But they were, I thought they were fun. Slurpee? Radical. Anybody got any watches? No? Awesome! First we feast, then we felony. Whether because of the nostalgia of back in the day, they had a lot of characters trying to sound like that. Not anymore. You never hear that stuff anymore. The cool radical. Because that was the fad, I guess, at the time. So that brings back some fun nostalgia memory moments. And like I said, that's when they become the Home Alone thing. The kids start fucking with them. Sneakily hit one, and then they hit each other thinking that guy did it. They throw some can on the floor, the bad guys slip on it. They're throwing CDs like Ninja Stars and people get hit. Watch my nose, it's bad news already. And he gets hit in the face again. They gives him this drink, which is laxative. But thankfully they don't go overboard with that, which I appreciate. I would say that's my favorite bit in the movie, is that whole sequence. Then they get caught. They brought back to the bad guy's lair, which is on this ship. And they get out. They battle ninjas. At one point they're using some nunchucks. Which is funny because they could use nunchucks to hit people in this movie, but fucking Mighty can barely do them in a fucking Ninja Turtle movie nowadays. I always remember this line. I don't know why. We should run. We should hide. We should hit their butts. And like I say, if you watch the international cut, and if you've only seen the theatrical cut, there are some bits added in. For example, in that Home Alone type of bit, there's a scene where Rocky is in this other room, and he's sneaking under the cover, these, what do you call it? A cover that's covering all this furniture. He gets the three bozos in there and fucks with them. There's a different ending to this, where in the ending of the theatrical cut, it ends right at the ship after Victor Wong and them leave. But in the international cut, there's an additional ending where... Yeah, that's right, because in the theatrical cut, there's these bullies that mess with them, and they win the basketball game. In this, they lose. So the original cut, they lost the game, and then they got the retribution here, where one of them just beats up the bully and throws him down. and then the kids ride off. So it's harmless entertainment. It's harmless fun. The kids are fairly good at their martial arts for the ages that they were. Again, they just need to lay off the highest, but no, you'll hear a lot of that in the whole series of movies. It's silly, it's goofy, but again, I thought the three kids did well for what they were supposed to do. Nice to see Victor Wong in there. Jon Turteltaub, of the films that seemed the most competent, maybe it's because of that director, because he would go on to do the National Treasure films, among others. This one looked like a theatrical film. I guess, well, I should talk about that in the next one, but real quick, like, I believe Disney released this, and then it became a surprise hit. No one expected this film to be as much of a hit as it was. And then they quickly went into a sequel. Might have been later that year. But then I guess Disney's like, well, we don't want to do anything with martial arts. They're too violent. Then why the fuck did you make one in the first place? Or why did you start a sequel in the second place? And then there were some rights issues, and that got delayed. Because what's coming up, the second film, the next film that would come out, which is Get Back, is really the third film. And then what was supposed to be the second film, that came out after that one. So let me put it this way. There's 4 films. 3 Ninjas, there's Knuckle Up. No, 3 Ninjas, Get Back, Knuckle Up, High Noon, and Mega Mountain. It was supposed to be 3 Ninjas, Knuckle Up, then Get Back. But instead, I guess they pulled a Missing in Action where it's a bit confusing. Maybe I'll explain it next time. But with this one, it's... Do you like Home Alone? Do you like martial arts? Not that bad of a movie. It's a combination of the two. And again, there was some fun. It went at a good pace, didn't get bored. And overall, like I said, not a bad movie at all. I've seen much worse. So thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.